Again and again, the US government has put Nigeria on their watch list. And not only that, they have threatened to freeze 50% of the aid they give to Nigeria.
Yes, that is different part of the history and the story that brought us here. Because there's a history that is going on now, but some people don't care to understand the game plan. But let me break the bubbles to you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my wonderfully listeners. It is not by mistake you happens to appear here, my brother. You appear here for a reason, and that reason must be fulfilled. Please follow me to the end of this video, and I promise you, you will never regret it. US have signed a new bill about Biafra independence. I repeat, about Biafra independence. This is the current news happening live at this moment as I'm talking to you now. But many quarters have decided to present the news based on their own ideology. I am presenting this news based on my own Biafra ideology. And the clip, also the voice you are going to also listening to, he is saying his own based on his own ideology as one Nigerianist. Vanguard carried this news that the US have signed a new bill. In fact, it has been passed into law about Biafra independence. Daily Trust carried this news. YALE.com/Finland.org carried this news. Verify them in case you are still doubting where we are going, what we are doing, and how we are doing it. Be rest assured that before the end of this video, you have every cause to say Amorok, or rather to say Okute Daily Talk really stand on the way of the truth. Please let us listen to this, our brother. More of messages is still going to come later, maybe from the comment section of this video or from the comment section of another video that says similar thing to what I have told you and to what this my brother, the excellent media house, said. Then you make your own comparison. You understand me? So please let us just listen to this one and then we take it up from there.
Oh yes, in fact, according to the news we received yesterday, being the first day of May 2026, it says, look at this, US puts Nigeria on watch list, threatens to freeze 50% of aid in new bill. As you can see, this news was published yesterday, being the first day of May 2026. Now, bear it in mind that two things are happening here, right? One, they have put Nigeria on their watch list. And secondly, they have threatened, in fact, if they pass this new bill, it will be that they will freeze 50% of the aid they are giving to Nigeria.
In all these things, to me as a person, to me as an individual, to me as a Biafran, because they say he who wears shoes knows where it pinches him. I think the government of the United States of America, I don't know whether they are playing hide and seek game with us, because this too much grammar. This grammar done too much. Every time we are coming, every time we are passing new bill, every time we are sanctioning them. Even as I'm talking to you now, Nigeria is being placed a kind of a control of particular concern, CPC, right? But Nigeria still receive aid from US. Nigeria still receive military aids. They still receive military equipment. They still receive even military to come and help them in fighting insecurity. The question there now is these people really mean what they are saying, or they are trying to play this their ostrich game with the Biafrans? Please, always ask these questions anywhere you find any message like this, or anywhere they say something, because when today the Cruz will come and say his own, Mike Arnold will talk, Ray Lemon will talk, who again, plus all the congressmen, upon all these things, we control almost a 65 to 70% of the congressmen and the Senate in US. I mean Biafrans, I mean the Jews. But at the end of the day, you still find out that it's only grammar we keep hearing. Even when the Christians and the Biafrans they are trying to save are dying on daily basis. Somebody should answer us. Is these people really mean business, or they are playing ostrich game with the Biafrans? Lives and freedom.
Nigeria. Anyway, please, I beg you to stay with me because we're going to go down quickly into this news so that you will see and hear what is happening. Stay with me because there's a lot they talked about in this video. Now, if you go down through this news, it says, okay, the United States House Appropriation Committee has approved a foreign assistance bill that would impose stricter conditions on financial support to Nigeria, signaling growing concern in Washington over insecurity and accountability in Africa's most populous nation. So, two things again here. What? Insecurity and accountability. Nigeria.
We heard you.
Going further, it says, okay, the provisions are included in the fiscal year 2027 National Security Department of State and Related Programs Appropriation Bill, which allocates about $47.32 billion for foreign aid and diplomacy, a reduction of roughly 6% from the previous year. Okay, stay with me. We went further to say, while the registration does not earmark a significant funding amount for Nigeria, it introduces new restrictions that could significantly affect disbursement. Under the proposal, 50% of U.S. assistance allocated to Nigeria would be withheld until the Secretary of State certifies that the government is taking effective steps to address violence, protect civilians, and hold perpetrators accountable. Are you understanding that they will hold this 50% until what? They are satisfied that Nigerian government is taking effective steps to address violence, protect civilians, and hold perpetrators accountable. This one is not about recruiting terrorists. They say they will hold perpetrators accountable. All right? Going further, it says, lawmakers linked the measures to concerns over persistent attacks attributed to militant groups, including violence affecting religious communities. The bill also requires Nigerian authorities to prioritize support for victims, particularly internally displaced persons, and to facilitate the safe return and reconstruction of affected communities. So they are going to, reconstruct the affected communities and make sure that internally displaced persons, IDPs, that they return to their homes. So they are telling Nigerian government that they have a lot of work to do. All this money they are using to do one or two things or borrow it, they should use it to go and reconstruct that place so that these people will return home. If you go to the north, there are so many IDP camps where people are staying and not even that they have been taken care of. Right? So the US is making this bill and telling them that you must do this. If you don't do it, if we pass this bill, 50% of the aid we are giving you will be cut off. All right? Now, going further, it says, in addition, the registration calls for investigation and prosecutions tied to armed groups and stipulates that Nigeria must commit matching funds for US-backed programs, effectively requiring a dollar-for-dollar contribution from its own budget. All right. So this is the US, officials where they are making the bill. Of course, the bill is here to pass, but once it is passed, come on, all these things must happen. A committee statement said the bill aims to hold foreign governments accountable for persecuting people of faith, adding that assistance to Nigeria would be restricted until measurable actions are taken to protect vulnerable populations. Until what? Did you hear it? Until measurable actions are taken to protect vulnerable populations. Okay. The proposed framework also subjects Nigeria to heightened congressional scrutiny. If enacted, the U.S. administration would be required to notify Congress at least 15 days before obligating funds for the country, allying Nigeria with other nations subject to heightened oversight. Of course, if Nigeria do all this, then the US will release the full fund to them. But if they don't do it, if they don't protect their citizens, if they don't hold perpetrators accountable, if they don't sit up to protect their citizens, the US is saying that this 50%, if they cut it, they're not going to give it to them. All right? The broader bill includes several major funding envelopes, such as $6.89 billion for national security investment programs, with at least 15% designated for Africa, alongside $870 million for counter-terrorism and non-proliferation efforts, and $1.66 billion for internationally narcotics control and law enforcement. So these are the money they send to Africa and what they are being used for. All right? So on this final note, it says, despite the tougher stance, the registration is not yet law. It must still pass both chambers of Congress and be signed by the US president before taking effect. So once the US president, once he passed the chambers of Congress and the US president sign it, this law will take effect. All right. Nigeria has previously rejected claims that violence in the country is driven by religious persecution, arguing instead that it reflects a complex mix of terrorism, banditry, and communal conflict. The one they say it is farmer-header clash. That is what they mean by communal conflict. All right. The bill, nevertheless, underscores a shift in U.S. policy towards stricter oversight of foreign assistance, particularly in countries facing prolonged security challenges, and could reshape Washington's engagement with Nigeria if approved. So once this law is approved, it's going to change a lot of things, between Nigeria and U.S. In Washington. So that is what they mean. So what do you make of this? I don't know. On daily basis, we keep hearing bad news about Nigeria. What is really, really going on? Do we still have a president? If we do, what is the president doing? Especially about this insecurity. On daily basis, we hear of people being unalived, we hear of banditry, we hear of terrorism, we hear of suicide bombing on daily basis. Is it that our security personnel cannot handle this anymore? What is really, really going on? Well, I don't know. For you watching me, do you wish that this bill will pass? Of course, if the bill is passed, now money they go cut. No be say nothing much. They say they are going to cut 50% of their aid to Nigeria. So I don't know what to make of it. But then I'm going to allow you to listen to this brief analysis they gave in Channels Television about this. Please do well to drop your comment in the comment section. And if this is your first time coming across my video on my channel, please do well to subscribe on this channel. I get information of everything that.
The message is very, very clear. Let us dissect the comment sections. Obago can subscribe to my channel, so let us cut it there. Friday said, Americans, stop this grammar. Help us to divide Nigeria into 3 places. Isaac said, the only division of Nigeria will be the permanent solution to all this nonsense. Okay. Mba Emmanuel said, can you see how US have been caring for other countries generously and quietly? This is why God will continue to bless America and Israel now and forevermore. Okay. Isaac Phillips said they should come and divide Nigeria. Period. Lord Mark said in all these things, it is the common people that suffer the resultant effect of bad governance. My brother, you are not far from the truth. Moving forward, we have a royal pastor said, what are your leaders doing with the earth? What are they doing with it? You have so much resources that your neighborhood need, but you are abandoning your resources and still going to your neighbor to beg for aid. Are you guys serious? Why is US even giving aid to that country, knowing how much resources they have, knowing how the leaders behave with it? That they get why they are giving them aid, that is not accounted for or supervised to see that is being used appropriately. But if you allow me to talk or to comment on this issue, I think all these Western countries giving aid to Nigeria, they are complicit. In fact, they are part of the problem that country called Nigeria is having today. Today you come, you borrow, you squander, and you are seeing the result of how they are squandering the money. Tomorrow they come, you still borrow them the same money for them to go to squander, and they will be servicing the debt with the hard blood of the innocent citizens through taxing. My brother, America, United Nations, UN, nobody they come, right? European Union, ECOWAS, African Union, all these things, all of them contributed to the problem Nigeria is having today. Nigeria is facing difficulties. But IMF will come and tell you that, oh, Nigeria GDP is now rising and the price of things is going down. Programmed statistics. They keep on using it to be bamboozling people, going online to make all kinds of comments. My people, I beg you, make I just end it here. I don't talk the one why I go talk finish now. They are fat. Catching a